Hello friends, I'm going to read you Edward the Emu. It is written by Sheena Knowles, illustrated by Rod Clement. This is another one that we heard in class that we just loved, so I thought I'd read it to you tonight. Edward the Emu. Edward the Emu was sick of the zoo. There was nowhere to go. There was nothing to do. And compared to the seals that lived right next door, well, being an emu was frankly a bore. So that night when the zookeeper went home to bed, Edward jumped from his pen and he laughed as he said, "The seals are best, anybody can tell, so tomorrow I'll just be a seal as well." The next morning at 9 when they opened the zoo, the seals were swimming, and Edward was too. He dived in the water and basked in the sun. He balanced a ball on his beak, just for fun. Well, Edward was really enjoying the day till he overheard someone, this guy right here, behind the fence say, "Well, the seals are always amusing, it's true, but the lion's the best thing to see at the zoo." So that night when the zookeeper went home to bed, Edward jumped from the pool and he smiled and he said, "The lion's the best, anybody can tell, so tomorrow I'll just be a lion as well." The next morning at 9 when they opened the zoo, the lions were roaring and Edward was too. He snarled at the ladies and growled at the men. Life was certainly grand for a lion in his den. Well, Edward was having a wonderful day till a man in the crowd had the gumption to say, "The lion's the best, I shall always detest. The snakes are the things that I like to see best." So that night when the zookeeper went home to bed, Edward crept from the cage and he grinned as he said, "If the snakes are the best thing, then that's what they say. Then tomorrow I'll just be a snake for the day." The next morning at 9 when they opened the zoo, the snakes were all hissing, and Edward was too. He slipped round the rocks, it was magic to see. Then he curled himself casually up round a tree. Well, Edward was just warming up for the day when he overheard one of the visitors say, "Well, the snakes are impressive, I know that it's true, but the emu's by far the best thing in the zoo." "What? Emus? What?" "The emu," said Edward. "My goodness, that's me. I'm the thing that the person would most like to see. Not the seals or the lions or the snakes or the rest. It's Edward the emu. He likes to see best." So that night when the zookeeper went home to bed, Edward slipped from the cage and he laughed as he said, "If the emu's the best, then that's easy then. Tomorrow I'm Edward the emu again." Edward ran to the place where he used to reside, that means where he used to live, but oh, what a shock when he clambered inside. He found himself suddenly come face to face with the emu they bought to take Edward's place. What? The emus considered each other a while. Considered means they thought about each other and observed. Then the new emu said with a shy little smile, "Hello, I'm Edwina. It's nice meeting you. You're the best thing I've seen since I came to the zoo." And that is the end of the book. And Edward found out being an emu was the best thing of all anyway. The end. Have a good night. Love ya.